Hello. Hello. Hello, beautiful conscious creators. I hope that you have started your day with nothing short of health, wealth, peace, love, and light. As we explore healing, conscious creation together in this space, I hope that you'll remember to be kind and patient with yourself and your thoughts. So today, I wanted to talk about trusting in God, trusting in the process. But before I get into it, song recommendation, Show Me How by Men I Trust. Which is actually so funny. Like I didn't realize how I didn't plan it. The trust part, the trust aspect of it. But yeah. Trust in God. And that can be a bit of a challenge. Especially, I'll say it was a challenge for me because this is what I want to highlight. When you have trust in God, in the universe, in the higher power, then you surrender. You're better able to surrender. And when you surrender, you start to enjoy the journey a little bit more. You start to enjoy the process a little bit more. Because what it boils down to at the foundation, at the core, at the root of it all is you know that you're okay. You're sorted. Because you trust that things are unfolding for you in your favor. Things are always working out in your favor. Because you trust and you have enough faith. And faith is not the same thing as hope. I'm sure you guys have heard there's a difference between hope is because like you know there's some idea that this thing could happen, so you hope and you're excited about it. And what I'm talking about now is faith. That because faith will carry you even in the most tumultuous moments. By having faith, like I'll share an experience. This year was quite turbulent for me, especially at the beginning. Like after graduation last year, which was in December, just coming back home, it was quite turbulent. And there were a lot of things happening in my life that could have made me give up. Like just give up on having a dream, give up on wanting to pursue any sort of career, because it put me in this state of survival mode. And even when I thought, things are on the up and up, then something else would happen. And it was just so triggering and heavy for me to carry. But no, it wasn't. I can't say it was heavy for me to carry, because this is when it came down to my faith. I trusted that even through all of these tumultuous circumstances, I can trust that it's all okay. And I've learned how to have enough trust in God and the universe that I find myself at peace with the process and the journey. And this happens because I learned to surrender. But it's hard to surrender to an unknown, because we don't know where we're going to fall and how far we're going to fall and what we're going to fall into. I always used to imagine this when I started doing, like, being consistent with my meditations and trying to create things consciously. I always used to, I felt like I was on solid ground, and I'd move, and I'd always be in a rush with things. And then I did the meditations and like learning to slow down within myself. And I just remember there was a phase throughout the whole process where it felt as if I'd stop, like it was like if you imagine two planets, right? I was standing on this planet. And this is, I don't know, this is just the imagery, the best way that I can paint this imagery. it felt as if I was leaping from this world, this earth. And but for a long time, while I was in the process and learning how to actually truly have faith in something, in the unknown, faith in the unseen, it felt like I was drifting in no man's land. And it was quite scary for me because I didn't know if I was going to land on something that would actually truly carry me, because it's a fear of the unknown. When you leap into something that you'd lost touch with, because I did lose touch with my faith, lose touch with a sense of trusting that everything is working out in my favor, because I'd learned to do things on my own so much, and I'd had this over independence, and I was in control of everything, that in some cases where I didn't need to have the control, then it was just almost, it was a trigger. It was frightening. It was scary, because where is this going to end up? Where is this going to lead me to? As an example, leaving university, going into university, I wanted to study a certain thing, and then I changed degrees, and then I took a gap year, and I felt the pressure to go back to university, not just from my external environment, but from myself, because people have always said, we see potential in you. But what did that potential even mean? So I went back to university, and I was like, okay, now what? But then I realized that a part of me was changing, that there's certain things that just didn't resonate in my life. But how do I leap into this newness that I don't know? Because there's potential, there's supposed potential that I possess, but what does this potential actually look like? How do I realize this potential? What am I supposed to produce in the world? And I realized that it was just the learning phase, the growing phase, where I needed to learn. And now I'm in a space where I can share the things that I have learned. I needed to take a break away from doing, so that I can receive, and now I can share. And it took a bit of time to get me to that point, because it was in the unknown. So when I finally landed in this new way of reality, where I'd learned to slow down and just surrender to a process, even with the things that I just did not understand how they would play out in my reality, if it was even possible in my reality. And can you imagine that? Not believing that things are possible. Yes, I'm pretty sure a lot of us can imagine that. We don't feel like things are possible for us, because we create these blocks, or not even we ourselves create these blocks. We have these conditionings that have put limitations on the things that we can do, because maybe the journey is set for us in a certain way. Like, yes, for me it was school, university, job. But then what if I didn't want this job? What if a part of me has always known that I want to do my own thing. I want to work for me. I want to do enough work. And even if I were to go into a job, I want something to resonate with a higher purpose. I want something to resonate with me and the greater good of the world, right? So what if, however, I don't actually want that, and I want to do things for myself? How do I take this leap of faith? And by learning how to trust and surrender to the process, then I realized that, okay, it's all okay, and it will all always work out in my favor. Because I did the the meditations rather, and just found a way to learn how to trust. And if you want to learn how to trust, just I don't know if I can teach you how to trust. This one is a bit complex, because trust is a very intricate thing, especially it's an intimate thing for any individual. And to get to that point where you trust in the process is challenging, especially if you've been burnt. So I can try and find ways to explain how I got to that point. Just share in the comments below if you would like me to share how I did it. But I can always share like little the few things and the few steps that I took in order to get me to that point. But the overall idea behind this episode is that you just need to learn how to trust. And once you learn how to trust, it is easier to surrender. And when you surrender, again, you can enjoy the process and you can enjoy the journey and the unfolding of your life without having to rush into an end goal, because you are a part of the process and you are a part of this unfolding, and you are observing and witnessing the unfolding of the things that you want to consciously create, your manifestations. You are aware of the unfolding of your desires and how you are growing in the process of this journey. So yeah, that's about trust. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. My name is Owaking and I'm your accidental therapist. Bow, chicka bow.